No. I guess I can't. All right, sure. Hey, buddies. Is there anything in them?
The sleeping quarters, or what you believe to be the sleeping quarters, are, because there's beds there, are empty.
Oh, thank goodness. Whew. All right. Is there anything interesting in them?
Uh, the beds that you see here are just makeshift bags and blankets.
Hmm.
The walls are covered with murals.
Ooh,
And
more murals.
yeah, it does have pictures of kobolds mining, uh, and of them like harvesting fish and mushrooms, and also some where they're taking reverence into lit candles.
More of the same, really. Okay. Well, these are the only two doors in here, right?
Yeah, they're the only. Yeah, they're open holes in the wall again, but yeah, those are the only two visible exits.
Okay. Well, this kind of seems like more of the same. I don't think there's really much to be gained from here.
But if these are toys and there were children, where are they now?
So
All right.
Dwayne will take his staff and tap against the wooden door and call out in Draconic, "Oh, children!"
I don't think they like that very much.
Draconic? They speak it.
Oh, yeah. Shit, I forgot they're not regular kids. My bad. Fair enough. Please continue. I had a bit of a brain fart. Please continue. I'm like, are you trying to scare the children?
Okay, you knock on the door, and it actually starts to open a little bit just from tapping your staff on it. You call out in Draconic. You don't hear any response back.
So take the staff, lean away from the door, and just push it the rest of the way open.
Before you see a room, it is the ceiling of the room as you look in is extended. It looks like if you walked in, you would be able to stand at your regular height. There's a desk that's very apparent right in front of you. There's a chair in front of it, and you see paper littered all over the desk and all over the floor itself.
I'll start looking through the papers, see if anything jumps out at me.
On most of the papers, it's very crudely written common. You see notes like used and broke 6 pickaxes, got a bunch of ore, and just it looks like just minor notes about things that happened every day in this area.
Phelan, have you any interest in a journal of the goings on here?
Absolutely, I do. Where is it? Where is it?
There's a bit over here, and some over there. Really, it's this whole area, it seems.
What do you mean?
Well, all these papers scattered about,
Uh-huh.
they're the journal.
Oh. I've never heard of bindings. Okay. And Fella just begins walking around, just carefully picking up papers and putting them into like a little pile on the desk.
Okay. There's also papers all over the bed. You notice that there's no papers next to the cloth that's hanging at the corner of the room.
Interesting. Oh,
Briseis, dear, would you come here for a moment?
Can I help you?
I was wondering if you could take a look behind that cloth.
I'm gonna kind of try to do another perception thing because she's doing so well with those. Before she actually pulls the thing back, maybe like listen for something.
Crushing it.
You are definitely crushing it. This is definitely a cloth. And you notice it's a little smelly in this room.
Going to back more. Just kind of reach out with her the end of her shillelagh club and move the cloth a bit.
As you move the cloth, you smell just the smell of decay and death. Are you moving it enough to the point that you can see in the room?
Yeah, she was slowly opening the curtain.
So this room, as you open it up, is not empty. It is filled with bodies, human bodies, covered in little to no clothing. Most of them are in different stages of decay, but you do see a significant amount of bones as well.
She is very, very noticeably horrified by this and just stumbles back a step and oh.
Oh, what a stench.
I think we found the missing people.
Fallon would stand up and look around and say, "Did you see? Shit, what is his name?"
There's definitely shit in the room too.
No, I got the status of the shit. I'm all over that.
Joseph, I think we're going for?
Joseph,
Yeah.
yes.
I didn't get that close a look.
Well,
Ah,
someone's gonna have to go in there.
so, Dwell pulls a cloth from his wrist, liberally pours perfume on it, holds it up to his nose, and then walks over to see what's going on in here.
She's gonna go in and like a lot. Like how many? A lot. What do you consider a lot?
Once you enter the room, you can tell in this very small enclosed space, there's maybe at least 12 bodies and at least another 6 or 7 skeletons below those bodies. You can't really tell underneath. In the back corner, there's a very large pile, like it's mounting up to the ceiling. So it's hard to get an estimate there.
She's going to like put her hand over her holy symbol and start praying for what she can here. Going to stand there, combo pray and converse with Lathander.
Fallon's gonna pull out the one. I think they managed to find one apron for us.
Yes.
Fallon is going to pull it out, put it on, and roll up his sleeves. And he's gonna say, "Do you mind if I take that rag for a bit?" And just gonna, unless Dwayne stops him, he's just gonna reach out and slowly grab it and take it from him.
By all means.
and then he's going to tie it around his face like he's some sort of Mexican bandito, and go into here and just start rooting around looking for a gold ring, or a green ring. Sorry.
As you start rooting around, shuffling bodies to and fro, you do notice that these people have like little to no clothing on, but they still have some of their metal on. You see one has a necklace. You see another one has a bracelet, and as you move the body that has a bracelet, you also hear some chittering.
Oh no! Oh no!
And everybody roll initiative.
Oop, is the turn thingy up?
Nope, it's totally not. Okay, go again.
One worse. I'll take it. No.
Okay, those rats are crazy.
They are serious business crazy rats.
Are we doing anything with
Yeah.
Cloud?
Cloud's super fast.
True.
Yeah, and Cloud is going to go first. I imagine Cloud would be exploring and willing to move forward. Alright, what does he have?
I think his normal is an unarmed strike followed by a second punch if the first one lands.
Yeah,
Something
that
like
sounds
that.
about right. Cats do not like rats.
This is 100% going in the journal.
And with that, we will... Did I close the turn order? There we go. Now the rats will go. And they will... and they will definitely bite at Cloud.
Uh-oh.
Yep, and they're definitely gonna hit.
10 precise? No, she's not close to the thing. Never mind.
Wait, can I roll that? Okay, no, I can't.
That's a crazy bite.
Alright, and that's just 9. But just 9 is significant. And then the other rat will bite Felon.
No, please don't.
As you disrupted its meal. 16?
No, it's not.
Oh, sorry, they have to move on top of you. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Alright, but a 16, they can't get through your armor.
Glad I brought it all on, I suppose.
Alright, so Rice, as both of your companions have rats all over them, what do you do?
Well, she is going to use her Shield of the Faithful, which will impose disadvantage on attacks roll them when a creature attacks a target other than you that is within 5 feet of you. Oh wait, nope, wrong one. What am I looking at? Radiant Defense, there we go. Here's your cloak by allies as an action. You can channel blessed energy into an ally that you can see within 30 feet of you the first time the ally is hit by an attack, and the next minute the attacker takes radiant damage equal to 2d10 plus per level. So, which one of them looks more screwed up? Or are they both pretty bad looking?
Are we talking about the rats?
No, the
Cloud, I think, looks more beat up.
Cloud. Yeah, Cloud's
Yeah.
definitely more beat
I have
up.
not been hurt.
an ally, so it will go Cloud. So if they attack him again, they will take 2d10 plus 2 radiant damage.
Okay. Do you see some shimmering happen around Cloud as these rats are all over him? Felon, do you start screaming?
Question. Felon will sort of start and go and then can it do? This is a rules question. Swarms in 5e, they don't cause any impediment to casting spells, correct? Except for the normal, like if you're in melee, you have disadvantage on ranged attacks thing.
That's correct.
Okay, so he's going to start and sort of start slapping his arms for a second, and then remember that he's magical, and then he'll be like, "Take this, you bastards!" And then he's going to Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame himself?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Well, I got armor on. It'll be fine.
Well,
take that.
these are not related to kobolds because you can
Yeah.
hit them.
Yeah, apparently. I think that's actually true. I don't think I hit I might have hit like one kobold, but the vast majority of the time I only hit things that were not kobolds. Like the one dude I did hit melted his face, but it wasn't a kobold.
All right, Dwayne, it's stinky and there's rats.
Ugh,
This is worst nightmare.
No
vile.
perfume rag.
I got. Oh,
That
Burn it.
scent clings. You're going to smell lovely for a while. His clothes and everything.
anyone who sees Dwell can see him touch his thumbs together, spread his fingers, point at all of you, and then flinch and drop one hand and instead send out a firebolt against trying to pick a rat off of Phelan there. Actually, no, sorry. Yeah. Pick a rat off Phelan.
All right, go ahead and give me that attack roll at disadvantage.
Yep.
Well, all right. Fuck you, disadvantage.
So you managed to hit one rat. And then that rat snowballs into a bunch of other rats that go sprawling towards the back part of the
Wouldn't
room.
you say it fireballs? Huh? Huh? Huh?
Huh? Huh?
Huh? Huh? Huh?
All right. I
Disgusting
will
little
give
vermin.
I will give you a ball of burning rats hit the wall.
Excellent. But it smells delicious. Burning hair. Ooh.
Landing on top of...
Dwell is choking and just trying to focus, and that's about all he can manage right now.
Well, his default, it does very well. As you see, Seven still batting at the rats that are all next to him. Not doing so well there. He's going to burn a key point and do Flurry.
Call.
Good flurry.
Yeah, it's a good
Nice.
Flurry. Alright, and that's a less good Flurry. Bringing this one down to 6. Some out there. Alright.
Nice. There we go. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. You can see he's ferocious. Perseus, maybe your shield has inspired him. But he
flings off.
he flings off all of the rats. And a few are remaining, but they skitter and panic and run through holes in the walls. bringing us on to the ones on top of Felon, who are really confused by this metal armor. It's not edible, so they don't get it.
Yeah. Me and these rats have more in common than I thought.
Zeus is gonna cure. Reach over and pet his cute kitty head. I don't know. Him.
It's not effective unless you stick your fingers into the wound.
Yeah. If you don't do that, it could heal wrong. You read that in a book once.
All right.
It's not moving.
All right. That'll bring us over to Felon, who is still managing to burninate some rats.
Absolutely. Eat knowledge, rats. Aha!
They're brilliantly aware of their own mortality.
Yeah.
They are indeed. You see, it looks like Felon only has a couple of rats around him. Dwayne?
I will cough up something unpleasant and then cast another bolt of flame at them.
The others are burned. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I do not enjoy being here.
These rats feel that you do not want to be here. This poor swarm of rats does not have any rats remaining. They just all roll up in a ball and hit fire the wall and die.
Felon picks some rat corpses off of him, sort of throws them off and says, "Whoa! At least it's covering up the other smell in here."
You're okay? Are you okay?
No, it is not.
I'm fine. I fought off a rat or two in my time. You should see the book rats we get in Candlekeep. They're huge.
Are they?
Yeah. Oh, it's mostly escaped experiments, but you know how it is.
No.
No. Well.
Since we're in here and in it, Dwell will cast light up at the ceiling, so that he can free up, and then he just starts trying to get clean.
Felon's just gonna rub his molten flesh covered, shit covered hands together, and then just dive back into the pile, looking for that ring.
All right, so
Zeus is gonna do her best to like say a prayer for each of the bodies in there, going holes, and for because I'm sure like if a lot of it's decayed at this point, some bodies are gonna kind of be melted together. So she's just trying to say prayer for whoever she can find.
Is this a dirt floor or a stone floor?
this floor's a dirt floor.
Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, but
So
that's like corpse mud.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like maybe, like if it was stone, the juice would accumulate, but the mud might be worse.
so as Seven is standing in the back of the room, just trying not to let most of this get onto his fur. This kind of it would kind of like stick to him and cling to him forever. We see Dwayne in the back trying to clean himself, and I imagine Briseus is having a hard time keeping track of what bodies she's said a prayer over. As Sean is like, as Felon is like flinging limbs and like rolling over bodies and looking through everything.
every time he finds a dismembered limb, Felon takes the time to examine it and then states out loud what type of body part it is, and then tosses it over his shoulder to make sure that no one misses out on any part of the action.
Phelan, your dedication to academia is impressive, but perhaps
Thank you.
just the ring, Phelan.
Yeah, as he says this, I pull out like a severed leg and I hold out the severed part and I'm like, "What do you think caused this?" Like holding it up in Dwayle's general direction.
Well, make a medicine check.
Let's see.
I'm surprised you're entertaining the idea of looking.
No,
Yeah.
this.
That leg is detached from the body that it was on.
A wound, Phelan. A wound caused
Oh.
that.
But can I? Oh, I don't know. Seems about accurate. And I set it down behind me and I keep rooting.
There's something violent, I'm sure.
Looking up and around, a bunch of steam and smoke has probably risen at this point. Is air going anywhere other than just hovering in this room?
No, it does seem to flow now that the curtain's been, or that cloth has been raised. It seems to be flowing out of the room through there, but there's no other.
Okay.
Nice. Put it in here, let it perk. Someone was sleeping like 20 feet from this.
Probably the hobgoblin.
Yes.
Size of the room.
Phelan, good news. It's your new room, Mr. Melty Face.
We'll have to clean it out first. Or at least boil the meat off so it doesn't smell.
Oh.
Go ahead and give me a perception check, Felon, for what you find.
Well, I don't see anything.
In your systematic searching of the bodies, I mean, you've been looking explicitly at fingers. I'm assuming for this ring.
Yeah, I'm looking for the ring.
You do find a ring made of iron, and you do find one made of silver, but there are no green rings.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take out, just take a piece of cloth, right? And I'm gonna take every loose finger I find and put it on the cloth, and then I'm gonna wrap it up like it's a little hobo stick thing. And then I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna walk it out here, and I'm gonna set it on the desk, and I'm gonna set it down. I'm like, hey, would you mind looking through these while I go back out and see if I can find anything else? And then I leave.
Oh.
It's just like one little finger sticking out of the top, not at the top.
So once Phelan's done that, Dwayne will open his spell book and leaf through it, and then start working his way through the ritual to summon an unseen servant. It'll take him about 10 minutes. If he managed to get that completed, he'll then send the servant in to start looking for the ring as well.
Okay. So Dwayne is casting out there. Resist is doing some prayers. I imagine Cloud would probably flip through this rune a little bit more. And Felon is just going to town. Are you still wearing Dwayle's handkerchief on your face? Okay. 10 minutes pass. So the unseen servant goes off successfully. But by that time, I mean, there's not a horde of bodies in there. It's just, 20. You have them pretty well organized and sorted so that you have parts of each body and they're mostly together. You're not finding any extra hands or fingers.
Okay. Not like the Oklahoma City bombing. They found an extra leg there, I think. I don't know who it belongs to. That was kind of dark. I apologize. It's a real life example. Huh?
When fantasy mirrors real life.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the Oklahoma City bombing. It's the same thing. Um,
Imagine the riveting conversation between you and Bryceus in that room.
mm,
She'll help out too when she's done with the prayers, because her perception has been spot on.
no, there you go.
Oh
When
my-
you needed it, it counted. You got it.
So as Bryceus starts sifting through the bodies with one hand and is organizing and bracing, she also finds a silver necklace that has some gem adornments on it. But there's no additional jewelry beyond that.
Okay. So, Joseph is not here, or they stole his ring.
They didn't take anything else though.
True, that's a good point. They'd have no reason to take the ring unless it was special in some specific way we are unaware of.
Maybe we should take all this back and see if anyone recognizes who it belonged to.
Like
At
just the
least-
jewelry, because I don't think we can carry the
Yes.
bodies, right? Okay.
Just the jewelry.
Okay. Good call.
And while Dwell is out here with another minute or two to spare, he will rifle through the desk if there's any drawers, etc. And he will take his staff and just sort of move the covers back and away, and then the mat or whatever is below it.
In the drawers, you find another couple of pieces of paper that seem to be crumpled up with the same kind of writing on them. You also do find a couple of bottles of liquid. Nothing in particular underneath the bed. Just, more dirt.
Bottles of liquid looking most likely like ink, or bottles of liquid of a weird sort.
So there's a couple of ink vials down there, but there's a larger, like, 2-liter bottle, and then there's like a standard, like a size of a 1-liter bottle. Both are made of glass, but non-decorative. The 2-liter bottle looks very frosted and used. The 1-liter bottle does not.
Phelan, I think I've either found libations or something odd.
Ooh, really?
Do not
Oh,
Taste it.
I don't have a single finger. What?
do not taste it.
Well, let me see what it is, and then we'll make a decision.
So, Dwell keeps the bottles a little distance away from him, but holds them up so Phelan can see.
Ooh, interesting. Can I make some sort of check?
Yeah, absolutely you can. What are you doing? Are you just looking at it? Are you...
Well, Dwell won't let me touch it, so I guess I'm just looking.
For the moment, you can't touch it, because otherwise I think you drink it.
Okay, go ahead and... Sure. If it's just the outside of the bottle, make a perception roll.
That's pretty good.
You do notice that the 2-liter bottle is half empty.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a darker liquid. The 1-liter bottle is full. It looks like it hasn't been opened. And if it's hard to tell, but if the bottle is clear, it looks roughly like the same color liquid from the chest earlier.
From the chest.
This would be the chest where the liquid was broken and spilled out all over the place?
Yes.
Yes, that chest.
Okay. And I say, look, if you're not going to let me examine it, I won't be able to tell you what it is.
Please don't drink this.
Okay, I won't drink it. I just need to smell it. And I take the half bottle. Or no, I take the full bottle, and I open it, and I sniff it.
It doesn't have a particular smell. Maybe slightly sweet. But other than that, it just smells kind of like sugar water.
Sugar water. I remember reading a novel about. Um. Well, I can do two things. We can take this with us, and I can examine it more closely when we get back. Or maybe you can lighten up a little bit and let me examine it here.
Do as you wish.
Okay. I take a swig of it.
Of the small one?
Of the, yeah. Just like a sip. Not a swig, I suppose. But.
Hey, Dwell just gape mouthing at him.
They all cringe.
And I like swish it around in my mouth like mouthwash.
So it tastes like sugar water,
Uh-huh.
and there's no other physical and or visible side effects.
Balin swallows it and he says, "Looks like it's just sugar water."
Why would they have sugar water?
It's an interesting question. I don't suppose there's any sort of connection between hobgoblins and sugar water that I'm aware of.
I mean, if you want to see what you know about hobgoblins and sugar water, you can make a check, I suppose.
I can do
Hobgoblins
history
are rigid.
or nature.
Sure, nature.
Okay. No, not too big.
Okay, you don't know anything about hobgoblins and sugar water.
Well,
Not sure.
that seemed pointless, but do bring it along.
Of course.
Is there something else in the other bottle?
Ooh, good question. I open up the other bottle and examine that one.
Everyone in the room immediately gets hit with the smell of strong alcohol.
Ooh.
Maybe they were
Oh,
meant to go together.
it's
He
a
likes his
mixer.
gin and tonic.
Yeah, it's a mixer. Okay, well, I mean, we were overthinking that. Well, let's take both of them and make drinks so we can get back.
Hobgoblins.
I'm adding bottle of hobgoblin liquor to my.
So, Dwell, as he
And
moves
chaser.
away from the lit room, he recasts light on his staff now. So, he's got his staff lit.
Lit AF in here. All right, well, let's go.
Literally made the same joke.
Oh. Also, do you think the hobgoblins would be scared by a leg? Like, would that intimidate them, you think?
Don't take a leg.
Well, well, we asked them pretty clearly about this. And I find it hard to believe that they were sleeping 20 feet away from an enormous pile of bodies and they didn't know anything about it.
The hobgoblins? You didn't ask the hobgoblin.
Oh, sorry, the kobolds. The kobolds.
Cloud speaks up and says, I think those kobolds are going to be scared of anything.
That's a good point. All right, fair enough. But, like, we asked them pretty point blank about the miners, and they said they seemed confused and said they had no reason to take miners. And while it may be true that they had no reason to take miners, I find it hard to believe that they didn't know this was here. You know?
Did you ask them whether they knew where the bodies were?
Well, I asked them if they knew anything about the miners who'd been disappearing.
Maybe they don't know that's what they are.
I suppose. Possible.
Well, we can go question them again. They're tied up in the room.
I suppose. Oh.
Now, is there anything else about?
I don't think there's anything up there. I did a pretty thorough search.
Okay. So as you guys are exiting the room, you were relieved to have the smell of dirt and sweat go back into your noses. Sorry, Dwayne, were we doing anything up here? I might have missed that on accident.
Up here?
Yeah.
Just looking around, now that I have my light with me, and just checking in under the beds to make sure.
Briseis is just gonna keep a watch here just in case.
With the toys about and no other noise, I would have expected to find the kobold children.
The kobold children are just the kobolds. Kobolds are pretty tiny. Would they fit in these beds, maybe?
No, the little wooden toy training implements, whatever they are.
Yeah, but maybe that's just for the kobolds. They're really stupid. Monumentally stupid.
While
a
you're-
lot of traps.
Close, yeah. There's a certain kind of intelligence.
Actually, Doyle would just start knocking on the walls with his staff to look for any of those holes like the kobolds ducked down the first time.
Go ahead and while you're patrolling the walls of this area, go ahead and give me a perception.
Come on, Roll20, why are you doing this?
Is Roll20 laying down the hate here?
It is hating me. It's not letting me move my sheet around. Hang on a second here. Let's try opening that back up again. There we go. Now I can scroll.
Well, you're not noticing any weak spots in the wall or any drafts from around, but you do notice a couple of gems in the beds and underneath the beds of the kobold. Kind of like underneath, just like as
My little unseen servant is following me around, and I just sort of point them out to him, and he fetches them. What does not do to get grubby?
But yeah, there's no drafts, no weak parts in the wall.
I found a few more stones of interest, but no sign of any additional kobolds.
Well, there's 8 beds. Killed 2. We killed 7 kobolds, I think. Maybe 8. Might be 8, so that would make sense, right?
It seems reasonable. I would have expected the shaman to have something a bit more.
It's a good point. Maybe, I don't know. Kobolds are odd.
Well, shall we then? I could certainly use to get some fresh air.
Oh yes. Would one of you mind holding my bag for a moment? Just for a moment.
7 great accepts your bag and like starts worrying that you're gonna start eating dirt off the floor.
Nope. Yeah. Felon comes over to here and then hops in the water and walks around for a little bit, just to get it off, just a little bit, and then he
Yeah.
climbs back out.
A good idea. But are we going to go talk to the...
Yeah, probably. I would take my bag back from Cloud and thank him.
Yeah, he nods. Because I don't know what else Cloud would say there.
All right, so we left him back in here, right? Right down
Yes.
here.
Briseis is gonna take the water away again. Try to kick off whatever's stuck in her hoof. And apparatus on her leg.
Yeah, so as you get into the room, you see a pile of ropes where you last left two kobolds.
I'm not going to pretend that I'm not relieved. Oh, well. They either knew something or they didn't, but we won't know now.
Should we take the back way out?
Yeah, we want to find out where it goes.
And just a real quick check, because it's still dark for me. Up right there, looks like a nice solid wall. Cool.
Everything is a nice solid, not solid, kind of dirty, but solid wall. Yeah, and you see frantic, recent footsteps running down these stairs, Briseis. So as you come up to this apparent exit, it starts to slope upwards in terms of height, and then to the west. It kind of bends to your right as you're walking up it. It's dark, dirty, smelly, and kobold-sized. And when you bring up one of your artificial light sources, you can't see, like, the light ends before this part of this upward rising tunnel ends. Are you guys just heading down this tunnel?
Mm-hmm.
Phelan, do you still have those
Yes.
crossbow bolts on you?
Yes.
Go.
Why?
I think that was a random no.
Oh, what do you mean?
An unrelated no.
Oh, okay.
Would you be able to fire an illuminated arrow
Sure.
down that? So Dwayne will cast light on it, making sure his own candles are lit, and then let him fire away.
All right. I will step to here, take careful aim, and shoot down the hallway.
The bolt stops about 150-ish feet. So there's a little bit of a dark space in between what the bolt lights up and what you guys can see.
All right. But we didn't see anything super scary in that intervening space.
Yeah, it looks like a giant tunnel.
All right. Well, I cast light on my candlestick. So let's get to it.
Briseis will head in first, as per usual.
So the hike up this tunnel is hot and annoying, but otherwise uneventful. As you get towards the top of this incline, the space widens in both width and height. You see a wooden cart with what appeared to be ropes attached to the front of it. And you do see some drag marks, like this cart has been taken out of the cave. There's also no apparent exit out of this top part of the incline, but you do see a thin beam of light at the very bottom of the floor to the north of this room.
Interesting.
The conditions of this entire expedition have been intolerable. How high is the roof in this part?
10 to 12 feet.
Dwayne straightens up and starts tugging on his clothing, little puffs of noise as dust flies off him again.
As the dust starts to pift off, you do notice that there is a draft coming from the north, from where that beam of light is. And then you can start hearing the sounds of rain and a little bit of thunder.
Oh, it's outside.
Perseus is gonna towards where the was it like the breeze or something?
Yeah. Yep. As you head towards it, you see lapping.
What was that? You cut out a bit.
As you walk up to that part of the wall, you see that the wall is actually flapping. Looks like it's heavy-duty canvas.
She's gonna do the same thing she did in the other room. Her club and try to move it aside. Just peek around it.
It looks like it's tied down. As you try to move it with your staff, the cloth gets stuck next to the floor. As you look, it's tied down by some rope.
Looks like they're hiding something over here.
I believe they're actually hiding here from something.
That true. No.
So this is the back door, it seems. The cart, is there anything in it that you can see?
As you look at the cart, it's worn, but empty.
So no candles and tools today. Though, if we wish, it seems that if one of us wished to impersonate a hobgoblin, we could go fetch some from Spiky Armor. Terrible name.
I don't know if we can impersonate a hobgoblin, but we might be able to show up at the meeting site and perhaps lay some sort of a trap. Although Kobold's getting away, I don't know how well that will work. Well, they probably don't know where Spiky Armor Shiny Eyes lives. They're stupid. I shouldn't have said that out loud because now they're definitely going to know where he lives.
It's better to overestimate, I think.
We'll make an offering to
surprise later.
We'll make an offering to Tamora at the next opportunity. Walking over to the canvas and sort of peeking outside and looking around, can I determine whereabouts we are in relation to the rest of the outside world? Are we near the mine entrance, closer to town, away from town, or no telling right now?
There's no real landmarks that you recognize in this spot. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We're moving the canvas and look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
shifting the canvas to the side so we can peek out.
As
Untying
with
the
the
bottom.
Okay. As you peek out, it's storming. It's definitely overcast. Vision's definitely a little bit hard to see. There's no significant landmarks that you recognize in terms of either the mining encampment or the town of Nashkel. You do see a multitude of trees and somewhere in the distance you can see a river.
Those are the only real landmarks. So we could always go back and ask.
I suppose we could, like, get a map of the surrounding area.
That would probably be helpful.
Yeah, because they say every week. I mean, I don't know when the last one was, but we have no reason to believe we don't maybe have a day or two to return to town and then come back. I don't know. You guys want to risk it?
I could certainly use the rest and a fresh set of clothing and a fireplace to burn these in.
No, don't burn them. They're perfectly usable.
No, they are not. The logs that we saw that you had gathered up, do you think from them you could determine when the last location was picked up?
It's hard to tell. With them being so jumbled, I'll probably have to take some time to look through them all.
Well, if I remember the note correctly, it would be a mile from here north and near a river.
Yes.
As it is storming, that is probably not the best time to go be beside a river.
It's true.
And quite honestly, I could use the time to rest and study.
I am rather tired. It's probably better if we don't go rushing into anything unprepared anyway.
And I believe we have discovered at least one of the causes of the troubles within these mines. So we may be able to convince some of the miners to come and retrieve their lost men and perhaps post some watches to prevent the kobolds from returning.
Yeah, I agree. They should be aware of this.
Can you guys make a perception check for me?
Sure. That question.
Well, I can hit the button. I don't know whether it's going to make it or not. Yeah, no, I'm...
Sorry, that's not indicated, but that's Cloud. So, Felon and also Cloud both point out on the river, you can see a crate floating down the river with a very small figure on top of it.
Sorry, a what floating down the river?
What appears to be a large wooden crate.
A crate with a figure on it. Huh. Okay.
Is the river flowing away from us, as in it's part of the river that came out underground and is flowing away like something could have been in it and now flowing that way? Or is it crossing or coming towards us? Which way is the water going?
It looks like the river that you're seeing, the flow comes naturally from the mines, and the wind starts picking up a little bit, and
That's
the
the
rain starts slackening.
noise. Felon's gonna run after it. Just yell like, "That was the noise!"
Felon.
Villain. Oh my.
She'll go after him.
I will have to rewrite so much of this.
Cloud just starts bounding off after as well.
So as we start running, Dwell will cast his light spell instead of on his staff back onto a scroll, roll it into a tube, so he's not a beacon as he's running along.
As you guys keep running forward, the light becomes a little bit better, and as you close the gap, it looks like you're just maintaining your distance between the crate, and as the river starts flowing, the wind picks up and starts moving the crate a little bit faster, but you guys are managing to stay on pace with how quickly it's moving. After about a mile of running, you come to the area, which I will, shortly drop you guys on. Here. Darkness. You'll be in the bottom right corner of the map. Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry. Logically, it's the top. And if following the river, it should be the left. Sorry, guys. There we go. You're on the left.
Bottom left, you said?
Bottom left, yeah.
You got it.
It got really quiet.
It did, sorry. Frantically trying to go through the reveal tool. And here we are.
So after the first half to 3/4 mile of running, Doyle is nearly out of breath. But he does call Mercedes a question. Why do you have a cane?
Because you're asking this now? And she's running without it.
Yes.
Because it hurts sometimes.
Do you only limp because your hoof is so badly made?
she's just going to ignore him.
You can't tell if he's choking or laughing or just out of breath as he tries to stumble along after you.
Well, she's kind of paying attention if he's going to like topple over, but
Nope, he stays mostly upright. He's just dying of laughter.
she
so as we-
wants to yell at him, but she's not going to. This is not the time or place, and he's not worth it.
Oh, he's worth it.
Hopefully Phelan's not gonna get them.
So as you guys frantically catch up and approach, you see the crate has stopped, and you can see that the figure that was on top of the crate is laying and not moving. Also next to the shore, you see another small figure that appears to be a kobold also laying next to the shore and not moving. There is a bridge, obviously, that runs across this river. And this well-worn path, from this far, you can even see there's clear wheel indentations on this path. As the darkness clears up and as the rain starts, the wind at your backs. The bushes next to you guys are hiding. Are too dense to see past further, but you know you've made headway with the kobolds. And I'm gonna send it to a quick break, probably just about 3 minutes,
Perfect.
Okay.
and then when we come back, we can move forward from here.
Cool.
Sounds good.
while the rain's let up, it's still a little bit slippery and a little bit muddy. As you see, the crates have now stopped moving. What do you guys do?
Perch, right?
Neat.
Will there never be anything clean or dignified in this adventure?
No, probably not.
What little I've learned about it, it's a messy affair. And she's using her cane again. Oh. And she just kind of stops. It's just...
Versailles, dear, when we have time, we will set you up with a farrier to set that foot of yours right.
Nothing wrong with it.
Hello?
I don't think they're...
Oh, hello. Well, ho there.
Hi. Well, this is you.
Good day.
Stay there. Wait.
I intend to. You seem to have killed quite a few people.
No, you must... No. Run. And you see this person blink, and then the face kind of drop of all expression, and say, "It has neither mouth nor teeth, yet it eats its food steadily. It has neither village nor home, neither hands nor feet, yet it wanders everywhere. It has neither country, nor means, nor office, nor pen, yet it is ready for fight, always. By day and by night, there is wailing about it. It has no breath, yet to all it appears." And then he stares, kind of just, both with a little bit of a crazed look and also an expecting one. Sword drawn and pointing. After that, after 5 seconds, 6 seconds or so, he says, "Answer my query."
Death?
I'm sorry. Is this getting said out loud?
Yes.
Okay.
She's just a question.
Okay. As Briseis says this, the look in his face goes from frozen to relief as he drops to the ground on his knees and drops his weapon and says, "Thank you." Oh.
Should we point out to him that that was not a query, that was a statement?
And she's gonna like slowly approach. Did you do all this?
Yeah, oh no. Yes, all of this was... And the people I had to protect. No.
Before you start again, throw your sword away from you as far as you can.
He stands up from where he was, as he's already dropped his... I, no, I will not touch that again. Gifts given are not gifts for me. Camilla, no.
You think it was the sword that did this to you?
I don't know. Please let me.
I would be careful, Dwayne.
The sword's right there.
Yes.
Well,
Don't touch it.
I am not Phelan. I do not intend to lick it.
I don't think that's what it wants.
Are you trying to seduce the sword?
Well, no, I'm just saying I don't think that's what it wants.
Why do we care what it wants?
Well, it seems like if he's right, it might be, intelligent in some way. Certainly seemed to have some sort of power over him, if he's correct.
Magic
Please, I do not want to speak of this. Let me. Can I finish? I need to bury Camilla.
Who's Camilla?
Can I? And he starts walking this way.
No, why don't you just stay here, bud? Hey, bud. Hey, come back. There we go.
He points to the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you see.
Oh.
We were hiking. We were hiking in these. Show her all of this, and then they came.
They. Who's
and
they?
he points to the figures on the ground.
All of them, or just the lizardy one?
No, just the men. We were walking, and they were standing here, and there was. We saw this box,
Oh.
and then they said, you can't be here. And then they started making jokes about what they would do to Camilla after I died, and then they laughed about how they were just gonna kick me in the head until I was dead, and then I don't remember exactly how it happened, but everyone was dead, even Camilla.
I see. Would you mind if I examined her from a medical perspective, just to make sure nothing, to try to figure out what happened?
Well, I need to bury her, but please, like, whatever. I don't want to. I just want to bury her. He looks kind of
quick.
He looks kind of defeated, just sitting, really on his knees on the ground.
Where are you from?
Cloud, do check and see if any of them have a chance of surviving. You are scary good at medicine, by the way.
Yeah, I am. I told you needed to poke the finger in. It was important. It's like, yeah, I'm wisdom based and it's a wisdom skill. You know how it is.
Still, I don't think I've seen you roll less than a modified 20 yet on medicines.
So he reads a lot of he reads a lot of medicine books when he was a kid.
Maybe Claude spent some time listening to Felon's tales of the books he's been reading. He quickly hops between all of these men and determines that none of their entrails will be working again.
Ooh. That's unfortunate. Maybe we can make sausage out of them.
Dude, what's... You're like 2 for 2 today. Oklahoma City bomb, like sausage entrails. What is going on, man?
I don't know. It's just one of those moods, you know? You talk about cannibalism and terrorist attacks. You know, everyone gets like that, right?
Yeah, that's a thing. Duh. So Camilla looks like she's died from multiple stabbing and slashing wounds.
Uh-huh. Do they look like the sword that the gentleman held?
The sword that the gentleman held currently has no blood on it, and Camilla has a lot of blood.
Mm-hmm.
But the size of the blade looks appropriate.
Okay, so it looks like it could have come from that sword.
Yeah.
Dwell's working through his spellbook again, attempting to conjure up another unseen servant. Have you a scabbard for this weapon? Sheath, whatever.
No, I just... he has like a loose knot kind of on his back. Just a simple leather strap.
If you're taking the Unseen Servant time to get the Unseen Servant for the sword, I might be able to learn more about this sword in the same amount of time. If that is something you would like to do.
That would require you to touch it.
I think that is strictly speaking true. However, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
Do you really wish us to set upon you to defend ourselves at this point?
Yeah, that is a range of touch. Yeah, okay. Well, okay, look, think about it this way. Here's what we'll do. We'll tie my feet up. Right? Make it so I can't move. That way, if I go crazy, you can subdue me and take the sword. But I won't be able to hurt anyone.
Your curiosity has no bounds.
Well, look, if this thing is clearly dangerous, we want to identify it so we can figure out what we're dealing with. Right now, it's just like a bomb that we don't understand. Can't leave it here for someone else to find.
Crazy, then you're not going to be able to identify it.
Well, right, but then we'll learn something. Sir, how long did you have this sword?
No, it was just given to me just a few days ago.
Okay, and I imagine this is the first time anything like this has happened.
If you're inquiring as to whether or not I randomly butcher people,
Yes, I am inquiring as to the where do you stand on that?
no, I'm not. No.
See, so I don't think it's going to make us kill each other by hitting it. I think the trigger for it was the men threatening him. I think that's what set it off. So I think just touching it, it'll be fine. As long as
you wish, seat yourself. I will bind your legs.
Thank you, Dwell. Team player right here. Never let anyone tell you differently.
Like, his feet should be turning blue with how tight this knot gets.
My feet won't die in 10 minutes.
After that, Dwayne steps away and comes over to check out the box over there.
As you're going to check the box, Cloud will just kind of watch over Felon from a close distance.
Oh, I want to watch him just flop around like a berserk fish.
As Barge looks to both Briseis and Cloud and asks, would you help me? I need to bury her. It needs to... She's been here for so long. Can we spare the time? I don't want to see her. I can't see her like this anymore.
Does she have family somewhere?
No, we both lived in town. It's just her and I. We were taking care of Dad, but he just passed.
Which town?
Oh, Nashkel, sorry. I just assumed if you're in this area, it's the only village near here.
We haven't been here long. We don't know the area well.
I'm sorry. I assumed. Can you please? Do you have any tools? And he just starts walking over to this area, and he's got like the standard kind of camping equipment with him, which includes just like a little shovel to just kind of dig out around a tent, and he just starts working ground. Now, it seems a little futile as he's doing it.
There are likely to be tools in this crate. Just a moment.
As
she's gonna go with him, like she will try to help. She's gonna like. She.
I just had a Briseis cut off. Did anybody else?
I heard most of it. Go ahead and say it again.
It said that she's going to do her best to help. She's gonna see if there's tools, if there are actually tools over there. But she will try to help him as best as she can.
Dwayne, as you check the crate, it doesn't have any symbols on it. Are you trying to open it up, or just examine the outside?
Walk around the outside, look for symbols. If there are no symbols, first just make sure that this big one over here isn't going to float away. It looks like it's run aground on rocks there.
Yeah, it's pretty solidly. It looks to be solidly stuck on rock.
Got it. If that one is solidly stuck, then see if I can knock one of the wood slats in or spread it apart to see what's inside.
As you pry off the side cover that is next to you, it actually just flops right off. Inside, you can see a couple of shovels and a couple of pickaxes, but there's another wooden crate inside of it.
These would be the tools and most likely the candles that they spoke of. There are shovels and pickaxes here. Stay there, I'll bring them to you. So he picks up a pair of each of the shovels and pickaxes and walks it over, skirting widely around the about to be berserkly flopping fish.
All right.
Briseis is going to mention that if he does go insane, that is a sword, and sword can cut rope, so we should still be very careful.
Oh, don't worry, I have my special subduing fire.
As the tools are assessed and brought over, we're wrapping up Felon's 10 minutes here. As your spell completes, Felon, you touch the sword.
Okay.
And you learn that it's a berserking sword.
Ooh. I don't actually know.
You know that it compels its user to continue fighting until everything around it is...
Okay. So, and do I know, does it need like could I, if it's in my bag, will it affect me, or like how careful do we have to be with it to avoid the danger?
You know that when the sword is wielded
Uh-huh.
is when it will cause its wielder to enrage.
Okay, so
You don't know if it has any non-touched properties.
okay. So as long as we're careful with it, don't have it with an easy access. It should. Look. So Felon's going to learn this knowledge. And then he's going to look around and see if anyone's watching him super closely at this point in time. And if the answer is not really, if they're focused on whatever they're doing, Felon's going to let out a fake scream of rage and flop around a little bit just for the show of it.
Go ahead and give me a performance roll.
Sure. Oh, yeah, that's okay.
So,
I'm so bad.
Dwayne, you see Felon flopping around in rage.
Is he still actually holding the sword, or is he just flopping?
No, he's not holding the sword at all. He's just flopping for the heck of it. Just because he thought it might be funny for a second. But he'll only do it for like a second or two, and then be like, "Just kidding. It's fine."
Dwell only gets the staff up to about halfway towards you before. Okay. Oh, well, that's good.
But it's a berserking sword, so as long as we're careful with it, wrap it up, put it someplace not easy to reach, we should be okay. And if the carefulness does not save us, disarming the person should end the effect.
But what about that little poem you gave us?
It's interesting. I don't know if that's like hard. If that's like unique to this particular sword, or what? I'm not sure.
As you took your 10 minutes to look over and slowly cast, you do see faintly in the word death stamped into it.
Okay. So it seems like it's something unique to this sword, like a code word of sorts. Maybe this was created to be given to a soldier that someone wanted to control. Something in that sort of nature. I don't know. But it seems like someone put the failsafe into it just in case.
Well,
So
if it is not immediately harmful, there's certainly no reason to leave it here.
Agreed.
Set it down and I will unbind your legs.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
All right. So you still see. So Brad is still burying, or still shoveling out room for his. Sorry, I don't know why I'm cutting out so hard.
Maybe turn up your mic sensitivity, perhaps? We'll fix it, I'm not sure. Discord has a place for that in its settings.
Please hold. gonna restart Discord real quick.
No problem. Oh my god.
It might actually be something to do with the weather this time. I mean, I swear to God, every Wednesday we have the worst weather. This past time we had like floods in this area that we haven't seen in like 30 plus years. It's crazy.
God is angry with us, or whatever you choose to believe in is angry with us.
Yes.
Well, of course, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is the
That's
devil's
true.
work.
It is the devil's work. Fair enough. I thought, yeah, you're totally right.
I will say that the original DM's guide did not do itself any favor with the cover art.
No, it did not.
Okay, and then we're gonna try this.
You sound good now.
All right, push to talk it is.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm super not excited about it either. All right, so as the sister is getting buried over here, Cloud is going to, I would assume, start looking through. Are people looking for stories?
Show me your stories.
Well, it seems likely that the humans gathered here would be those that the Melty Face was going to make contact with. They have the supplies, and they attacked those who were came across them mistakenly without describing shiny eyes, spiky armor.
Yeah.
And as they're all dead, somewhat beneficial for us.
Is it really though?
That's it's probably kind of a bummer because now we can't ask them for any information.
You know, I was considering necromancy, but it did not seem like a popular idea. I don't suppose you... No?
No, I can't say that I've dabbled in those sorts of arts personally. Not really something I can do.
Well, perhaps they have something on them, or some indication as to how this crate got here. It is a rather large and heavy crate, but I don't see a wagon nearby.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, let's go start poking around some bodies. Pull out my body smock, put it on, start rooting around. You know, like a Civil War doctor has.
It has a specific purpose now.
Yeah, it's a body smock.
Dwell will wrap up the berserk sword in his now thoroughly defiled robe, and tie it, and then tie it to himself.
As you go to pick up the sword, everybody give me a charisma check.
Charisma check or charisma save?
Charisma check.
Okay, there we go.
Charisma. Oh, he's an...
Oh, there we go.
Okay. You pick up that longsword and tie it to your waist.
I don't know why. Right. Okay, I'm gonna join Cloud in searching the bodies.
So the bodies of Cloud looks up and he says, "Well, these first two I didn't see anything on besides the standard complement of arrows.
Hmm.
Looks like they were equipped with some lighter armor, and they had crudely made steel weapons, short swords. One had a dagger, just a dagger in specific, and they all looked like they had bows with arrows with no metal tips.
Okay. Interesting. All right, I'll go examine these kobolds we found drifting in the river.
So these two kobolds you've never seen before. The two that you walked past were the two that you interrogated in the cave.
Oh, see, should have stuck around, dudes. You'd still be alive. Yeah.
But the markings of these two kobolds, they appear very similar to the other kobolds that you've met.
So they're probably from the same tribe. Ooh, they have anything interesting on them? Anything odd?
Well, the one on the ground that you see has a very small gem on him, but he doesn't have anything otherwise that strikes you as odd.
Okay. Pull the one on the crate off of the crate onto the shore. And if he doesn't have anything out on him, then I'll open the crate.
Okay. As you go to open the crate, make me an acrobatics check.
All right. Yeah. There we go.
You avoid tumbling into the water as you're trying to pop off the top of this crate.
That's good.
As you open it, it just has candles in it.
Here, making a grand getaway, and we're gonna live like kings. Oh well. Can I tell? Are these ones dead, or what killed them?
It looks like these kobolds have arrows in them.
Men saw them, shot them. All right. That's too bad.
I'm going to go ahead and say that the hole dug is deep enough to bury the sister in at this point.
And she will help get her into the hole and cover her up as well. And we'll say words.
As you start to say words, Dwayne approaches from the side. And the sword on Dwayne's belt starts glowing with light.
Phelan.
No,
She is going to pause and give that direct attention.
Phelan, I hate you.
No, I just
so much.
No. This is not. Phelan has upon walking back successfully, sort of wiping off his hands, feeling confident, has remembered something, and he thinks there might be more to this than we initially realized. Phelan says, "Do you guys remember the note we found?" The note we found describes what he did to us pretty succinctly. On first meet, they will challenge. Describe me, that will be enough. That sounded like a challenge to me, and if this person thinks quite highly of themselves, maybe death is how they think of themselves. Maybe that's what it means. Maybe this guy isn't as, or is either isn't as innocent as he claims, or there's much more going on here than we realize.
Phelan, focus. Sword. Glowing.
Well, I don't know. What I'm telling you is something is going on that I don't comprehend. But you should probably take it off if I was you. You want me to grab it?
Briseis is gonna use her.
Dwayne will just undo his belt and
Try
let
to
it drop
take it
away.
Does it keep glowing?
As he drops it, yes.
Phelan.
I'm sorry. I've been distracted.
I can tell.
No, there were forces in game were conspiring against me to keep me from paying attention. Okay, well, still glowing. It only glowed when you walked over here, right?
I noticed it when Briseis was speaking her prayers to Lathander.
Not speaking them now, though.
Glowing. Well, I've heard tales
This is a grave.
of swords that glow when they get near specific things. Maybe, Well, let's try something. I'm gonna pick up Dwayle's belt and I'm gonna walk away, like over to you. With the sword still attached, obviously. I'm just gonna take this belt.
Okay. As you try to walk away with the sword, Briseis, you don't want the sword to walk away from you.
She's going to put the bottom of her walking stick on top of like where the hilt is to like hook it to keep him from pulling it.
Felon turns around and says, "Excuse me, you have your stick in the belt. If you could just I'm just trying to do some science, or if you could just." And he's just every time he says that, he's just pulling on the belt.
And she's moving it around so it doesn't so he can't take it.
Briseis, are you perchance feeling odd? Any?
Leave it here.
Why? Don't you want to find out what will happen?
Just leave it here.
Oh dear. Okay. I'll leave it here.
Phelan, do you
no
think you may
problems.
have overlooked some aspect of this weapon?
Look, no one is perfect. It is, as you say, it is human to err, and while I may not be a human, I would like to think that also extends to me. Yes, it does seem as if I've perhaps overlooked something.
Okay. Dwayne and Phelan, both give me perception checks.
Or will do better than me. That's technically better. Good job, bud. Good job.
You ask, I deliver.
I can't fault you.
Don't worry,
Thank you,
Cloud's got
Cloud.
your back.
Thanks, Cloud.
Cloud points and says, the sword doesn't say death anymore. It says life on the hilt.
I don't know what that means. Well, I know what the word life means, but like, so it's chosen a new wielder, maybe, and it has adapted to the personality or the attributes of the one it chose, which unfortunately reflects poorly on you, sir. But that's what it seems like.
Briseis, would you be willing to take a few steps back? Or leave the sword where it is? Would you just take a step back from it?
Do I have to make a roll for that?
I mean, it's been 6 seconds. Sure, you can try.
Well, wisdom. No.
All right, so you feel it. So you feel it struggling and trying to keep you next to it. However, it seems to flash a little bit, and it still retains its glowing, and you feel like you can step away from it.
She'll take a slow step backwards. She's still looking at it.
You still feel the compulsion to hold onto said sword, but no longer like a deep urge, just like a want.
Valen, do you feel there would be anything gained by your attempting to inspect it again, or...
Perhaps a more long-term inspection would yield more results. I don't think another inspection here and now will gain more, though.
Briseis, would you be willing to allow one of us to carry it for you?
Like your squire.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, you're allowed to say absolutely.
She'll she's going to nod and yes, I think that's probably for the best. She's like not taking her eyes off. She'll take a breath and then turn away.
I will call a servant to carry it around for you, but do please try not to approach closer than it is already from you.
Dude, I don't think we should give it in the hands of a servant. That seems like a bad idea.
An unseen, a magical construct of mine.
Okay. That's. I just thought you know.
I understand. No, I did not intend to hand it to some whelp. What a curious little weapon.
Yeah, curious is a good word, I suppose. As long as. Let's hope you find it as curious when she stabs you with it. Not that that'll happen. I mean, who can say?
And as this is happening, Cloud says, "Guys."
Yeah, buddy. What's up?
With his very high perception roll, he also, as you're looking at this fourth bandit, there's a large stack of gold on this bandit.
Ooh. Always like gold, right?
He brings it over, and he kind of like so that everybody can look at it. Looks like there's like 50, 60, or 70 gold, and then you see a green ring in the bag.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. can't go. Well, I could, but I don't want to go wading through those bodies again to find out which finger that ring fits. I'm pretty opposed to it.
It's
Phelan, I think it is safe enough to say that he has departed this mortal realm.
Okay. Good. We'll return the ring as proof to his wife.
And perhaps she will identify one of the bodies.
Maybe. That's a good point. Perhaps
Are you guys?
As Dwayle's talking, he's working his way through his ritual to try and get the servant. But that would be another 10 minutes.
Are you guys? I'm sorry, I heard about bodies. Are we taking these bodies with us somehow, or are we?
No, we're talking about the bodies in the kobolds area. Those are the ones.
But nothing else was stolen from
Well,
those
we were
bodies.
told that this ring was especially valuable and unique. Maybe that's why it caught someone's eye.
If someone's gonna steal one thing, they'll take everything. Everything is worth something to someone.
I suppose that's true.
Hold for a moment. Weren't you from Nashkel? He gestures to the sword-wielding maniac.
The sword-wielding maniac replies, "Well, yes."
Do you know a man named Joseph? Do you see him amongst these bodies? His wife. Cloud. What was his wife's name?
Katrin.
Katrin's husband, Joseph. Do you see him here? Do you know them?
Well, I mean, Joseph wouldn't be. Oh. He looks, and this is Joseph.
Oh, that one's Joseph.
Yeah.
Seems he took up with these bandit. Probably didn't tell his wife. Maybe he was tired of their marriage for whatever reason. I don't know why. Seems like a lovely knitter.
Disappointing reality in this world. Evil can be found anywhere.
Fortunately true. Question, do we tell her?
That he is dead, of course.
Well, no. Of course we're going to tell him that he's dead. Do we tell her that he ran off with the bandits, or do we just say we found him and he had passed? Spare her the more uncomfortable truths.
People will happen upon bodies at some point, likely after the rain lets up. Be
Could
found.
burn them. Fire. It's probably the smart thing to do anyway, so animals aren't attracted. We certainly have enough candles to start a fire.
That doesn't feel right.
Why not?
If you wish them brought along for a proper burial, I'm sure I can arrange it.
Well, you say that, but how...
We don't have to tell her that he was one of them. Just that he died here.
Yeah, but dressed as a bandit. I guess we could strip him. Is there a pig in the background, or
Something's not happy.
okay? I was just there's like pigs like right outside my house, and I was wondering if there was like a real problem, or if it was like just
No.
the noise.
Whatever it is, it's upset.
Yeah. Okay. I think you're probably right. We should probably try to spare her. I think we should strip his body, dump his belongings in the river, and just say we found his body here.
What do we do about him, though?
Who, him? The maniac?
you're right about the sword.
Well, it seems to have released him. He seems fine now.
I would, please just take me to the Temple of Helm in Nashkel.
Okay, sure.
They will. What I've done is atrocious, and it should be judged fairly.
I don't know. If that's what you want. Do that.
Off in the distance, you can hear some drum noises.
No, it's so late. Okay. So that's what we'll do. Strip Joseph, throw his belongings in the room.
Phelan, do you remember when those orcs came through before?
Oh. Like
It is time to move.
Like those... Whoa,
Yes, like those drums.
Like those drums?
Like those drums.
Or like the drums that the Helmites use when they wake up in the morning.
Cloud, if Phelan doesn't make up his mind in the next minute, pick him up and carry him.
Cloud's already climbed this tree, the tallest of the nearest trees, and is looking. And doesn't see anything in particular. In terms of orcs, can everybody give me a survival check?
It's a drum playing pig.
We ain't seeing shit.
So you can't tell exactly where the drum sound is coming from, but Cloud does see a lighthouse of a landmark, and you can gauge that the road, the path that's going south on this map, will lead back to Nashkel,
Alright,
or at least nearby.
let's go then. Okay, yeah, let's go. I'm gonna run over. I'm gonna strip Joseph naked.
That smock is getting like double and triple time work.
Yeah, that Spock is the best piece of gear I own.
So the unseen servant will be instructed to stay the same distance away from Briseis. So it will be basically a floating sword tagging along behind her. And then I'll use up my last spell slot on a Tensor's floating disc. Throw anyone who you wish on it, and let's be moving.
What are these noises? Bradge says.
Likely orcs.
It's like, oh yes, this way to Nashkel.
Yes.
I toss Joseph's belongings in the river and hurry after. For his clothes.
Dwell will throw at least Joseph and one of the other bandits on there. On the disc before they set out.
Okay. I don't know the rules on disc, but I'm assuming it can support up to 500.
300, I think.
That sounds great.
So 2 people.
2 people, perfectly reasonable.
Yep. And then it keeps up as we run like crazy.
So as you guys leave, you do hear the sounds of drums get fainter as the weather continues to get worsen. Bradge points and says it's maybe only an hour's travel from here. Not in this rain, but we'll get there. And he leads you guys, but he's on the same path.
Nope, you were right. 500 by the way.
Oh, random. And you guys do make it to the town of Nashko. Drenched, soaping wet. You have a floating sword with you.
And a couple of floating corpses.
Well, first we got to take the man and the bodies to the Temple of Helm, probably.
So I'm going to take a quick 5-10 minute break, maybe a little bit longer. If you guys want to do whatever, if you guys want to hammer out your plans for the town, or if you guys just want to take a break, that's totally fine. But I'll be back in about 10-ish.
Okay.
Sounds good. I like Phelan's idea, straight for the temple.
Yes.